How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to Blade Bias. Ooh, fun. It's serious today because we're talking about something cool. For a while now, I've been awaiting a package, as I'm sure some of you know, that is potentially really, really cool. Yesterday, that package arrived. I would have liked to do an unboxing live for a video, but of course I could not do that because I was way too eager to open this package. So, it comes in the usual LDY packaging that came with the Sirius, which is cool. Inside, we'll get to you in a second, we have some new goodies. The hardware comes in this little, like a mint tin, the tins that keep mints in. Comes in that instead of just being a little baggy. Cool. The NFC card is still in here, so if you tap this up to your phone or any mobile device, it will display the specs of the knife. Now we get a set of LDY branded Band-Aids, which is very, very cool. I don't know how they managed to make those, but they sure did. We have the cleaning cloth that they always send with their products, which is very nice. And then also we have some silica gel. Probably don't eat those. On the right side, we have the trainer blade, which is very, very cool. It's a very, very cool looking trainer blade. I have tried this. It flips about the same as the regular Cygnus. Unfortunately, my trainer blade came bent. It is slightly bent, and I cannot flip it very much because it has blade rub. I will have to message LDY about that. I'm sure they will replace it for me if I just ask them to. But I just want to get that out of the way. The trainer blade is very cool. Mine is slightly bent, so I can't use it, unfortunately. But I have flipped it for a little bit, and from what I could tell, it is actually pretty sick. So, packaging out of the way. The Cygnus. This is very, very exciting. So, flipping wise, the Cygnus. Well, first of all, the Cygnus retails for $450 US. LDY sent this to me for free, so I did not have to pay that much for it, which is why I'm not so upset about the blade issue on the trainer blade, with it being bent, because I did not pay for this. So if I would have spent my hard-earned cash on that, of course I probably would be a little more upset, but I did not pay for the Cygnus. LDY did send it to me, so it's not really the end of the world for me personally, but of course if you did pay it, you would be upset. So the Cygnus is LDY's most recent creation. It is 3.8 ounces. It is sandwich, a S35VN blade and trainer blade. It has titanium handles with G10 inlaid inside the titanium. So there's cutouts. It is like a shell, and then the G10 is laid inside of it and around it. You can see it like fits slots in there. These are all titanium T10 screws. Yes, even the small ones are both T10. Scales with a spacer, and that is also titanium. So yeah, that's technical specs out of the way. 3.8 ounces, light handle bias. The newer blades have a stronger handle bias, but I'm sure it's still not ridiculous or anything. It's still probably just a slightly better light handle bias. But you know me, I like my handle bias, so I'd probably end up liking that blade even more than this one. But yes, so they come decently sharp out of the box. They don't come razor sharp like the Sirius did. The screws do not come Loctited out of the box, which is fantastic because the friction from the G10 holds them in place, and Loctite sucks. I hate Loctite. So that is actually a bonus, believe it or not. So, specs out of the way, performance is the first thing to talk about. It's fantastic. This thing is absolutely phenomenal in terms of actual flipping performance, because it's light with a light handle bias. Now I will say, if you are a guy who likes bigger, chunkier, 5-ounce pieces of meat, you might not like this as much, because this is a very, very, very modern balisong. That is one of the things to note. It is very modern in terms of basically every aspect of it. Actual flipping performance, it is very reliable, very comfortable, and very enjoyable to flip. And I feel very in control of how this balisong flips, which is great. Another thing that helps with that feeling of in control is the grip. This is the grippiest balisong I personally have ever tried. Now that comes down to a few things. First and foremost, it is sandwich, which is, please, balisong makers, make more sandwich knives. It is so, so, so good. So your fingers, if you're doing any kind of ladders, will sink right into that sandwich there. They will dig right into that divot. And that is perfect for grip because alongside the entire side of the handle, apart from this side here that has the spacer, but it also has jimping, the entire length of the handle, you have the best grip you can possibly get from, say, if a channel knife were to have, you think of, let me bust out the Kraken here, something that is considered to have amazing grip on the sides. Even then, there's this huge flat face with just a little line down the side. This whole channel area, or this whole sandwich area, sorry, adds so much side grip and makes it fantastic. So grip is bar none. On this balisong, this is the king of grip that I've ever tried, not even just in my collection. Part of that is due to it being sandwich. The other part of that, well, the other parts of that, this huge hole cut out on the front, amazing to sink your fingers into. Feels very, very good. I have a band-aid on my finger, so it's a little weird flipping. Feels very, very good and very, very comfortable to sink your fingers into. Anything that you have to get any kind of grip halfway through the handle. Very, very, very grippy. The other part of that is that it is titanium and G10. Now, this is the coolest design feature of the Cygnus, is that it has G10, I said T10, didn't I? G10 inlaid inside the titanium handles. That means that you have titanium, well, it's designed in a way that you have titanium where you'd want it, but you have G10 where you'd also want G10. Being around here, around this cutout, the G10 adds, alongside the cutout, adds insane grip here, like a ridiculous amount of grip. Like this thing, I could not drop this thing on accident if I wanted to when it comes to just like sliding out of my hands. So insane grip there. The G10 and the titanium all has a very subtle texturing on it. The titanium, you can't really feel it. You can see it, but you can't really feel it. The G10, you can feel it, and it adds extra grip on there. So you have the G10 here adding insane grip around this whole middle section. Then up here, you have the titanium around the corners showing, which also adds grip because, you know, titanium is fairly grippy. It's the grippier material between like aluminum and titanium, but it's so much more comfortable because one of the things people don't like about G10, myself included, is that especially if you're fanning on it, it can kind of rough up your fingers and it can kind of chew you up a little bit, maybe give you some irritation on your skin. Titanium doesn't really do that. So putting titanium in the area where your finger is going to be kind of gliding across the handles the most allows it to be comfortable, still grippy because it is still sandwich titanium, still grippy but more comfortable up here. And then once you get to this middle section, you get even more grip. And with that, since your hand, you're not, I mean, most people don't fan like this in the middle of their handle. So this is more for grip and this is more for comfortability. So it combines to make the area of comfort where you would need it most and the area of grip where you would need it most. Now the bottom of the handles have all the titanium showing, which means that if you drop this, it is going to be hitting the titanium. And this uses grade 5, 6 LV, so I don't know the thing, but it's the type of titanium. I don't think it's the exact same, but it's the level of titanium that's in something like the Medusa, that's in something like the Opus. And the Medusa especially is considered to be like a tank balisong, like that thing is a beast. This is using a similar level of titanium. And on top of the S35 VN blade, which is the same blade that is used in the Opus, and I believe the Opus, but I know for a fact the Medusa, you have this exposed titanium, which means that if you drop it on concrete, tile, whatever, this is the kind of knife that will dent the concrete instead of denting your knife. And that, originally I thought it wasn't going to be very durable because the G10 kind of scared me and it looks very fragile. There are some issues with breakage up here if you are very, very rough on this thing. But overall, the exposed titanium on the bottom here and the S35 VN blade makes this thing very, very durable, much more durable than you would think. This is using some of the most durable materials we can get at the moment. I really hope LDY does sell replacement scales for it, because eventually one of these is going to break on someone, and I would like to have replacement scales available. So hopefully they eventually get those out, along with a better place to buy these. That is just something that LDY struggled with for a while. So insane grip, like unmatched grip. I have not felt grip this good on any other balisong. And the cool thing is, you think of like the Koenig, for example, has a very aggressive texturing, and that's what gives it its grip. But the problem is that you can feel that texturing, and it's kind of intrusive in a lot of scenarios. You feel it, and you know, hey, that is the texturing, because it is immediately noticeable and kind of uncomfortable. In some scenarios, not all, but sometimes it can be a little uncomfortable after flipping for a while. The Cygnus doesn't have that, because it's just a material grip with a very subtle texture on the side. The one thing is that it is G10. If you get the chalkiness from G10 like I do, then you will get some of it, but having this exposed titanium around the inside and around the edges here does help with that. It's not as bad as something like the Nautilus or the Rep is, especially the Nautilus. I get such bad feeling in my hands after flipping the Nautilus for a while. So, you know, we have insane durability because of the exposed titanium on the bottom. You have the insane grip because of the combination of titanium and G10 and the good design features. Hardware is all titanium. It is all, I believe, heat anode, because it looks like a really cool heat anode, but it's all anodized titanium. The hardware it's rather shallow. It is something to be careful of. However, this is not Loctited from the factory, like I said. So the best way to get your hardware out, stick your driver in it, put it down on the table, and push into the knife so that your driver does not slip out. And if you do that, your screws will come out basically immediately, super easily. And same thing when you're tightening it. Push either really, really hard into the screw, or best thing you can do is just set it on the table and push into it, because you don't want your driver to jump out. That is how you strip screws. And if they're not Loctited, the only way that can happen is if you are just not applying enough pressure. So put enough downward pressure on it and you'll be fine. So, talk about design, grip. So yeah, I guess let's move on to more of the opinionated stuff. Talked about flipping a little bit. Yeah, the Cygnus. I talked a lot about the specs and a lot about the individual things that make it amazing. But when you look at the bigger picture, you have... Let's go through my journey through the balisong hobby real quick and show you my favorite things I have. And then there's one more. Actually, no, we'll keep it to this, because the Sirius, the Swordfish, and all that's kind of interchangeable. So let's start a little bit from the beginning. This is going to be quick, I promise. The Arctic is what I first started on. It's what I first learned on, and this is a sandwich aluminum handle bias knife, and that's where I learned a lot of my stuff on. It's got not the greatest grip, which is the main problem I had with it, and it's got a handle bias, but it's sandwich aluminum, which is very important here. The Speed Channel Bowie Kraken, which is one of my favorite knives I have right now. Again, I had Tyler add a speed channel in it to give it more grip and add a cool sound. And this is very, very, very cool. And I have my regular Bowie Kraken, which I love to death as well. But the biggest thing I'm going for here is that I like, you'll see when I get to this, I'm tending towards stuff as time goes on that is lighter and lighter and lighter and lighter and lighter. The Speed Channel Bowie Kraken dropped the weight a little bit and neutraled it out, so it's even lighter. And then I will bring in the Swordfish, actually, my most recent acquisition. This is like 3-point-something ounces. It's fairly light, and that is what I've been flipping most recently. And you'll notice Speed Channel, because over time, subtly, I think I have been craving that sandwich design, and over the past couple weeks, I really realized it, and I've been trying to find more sandwich knives. But then the Calico is super lightweight, super enjoyable and easy to flip, amazing grip because plastic has good grip because it's not slippery at all. And okay, over time I've just been slowly graduating towards lighter, sandwich, good grip. Those are my three big boys with a light handle bias. That's what I prefer. That's what I've worked towards. And then the Cygnus not only has one of the coolest designs out of a balisong that I've seen in a very long time. When they first revealed this, I didn't even care how much it weighed. I thought that was sick and I want one. And it checks every single one of those boxes. Lightweight, it's 3.8 ounces. Good grip, amazing grip like I mentioned earlier. It's sandwich. It's got cool customization features because you have both G10 and titanium. So you can anodize the titanium, dye the G10. You can do so much stuff with this with titanium screws, full set of replacement hardware, and the trainer blade, which we all know LDY does very well with packaging at this point. But every single step of the journey has been leading me to this. And I am comfortable saying that this is my perfect balisong. And if this video seems a little more analytical than my normal videos, and it seems like I'm not really like gushing about it as much, that is just because I have given this a lot of thought recently, and I have already gotten my like gushing about it kind of like I want to be real with this thing and like really decide if this is my perfect balisong. So I'm thinking about it from an actual flipping perspective, an actual performance perspective, not just, oh, it's cool, let's go. And yes, it is. It is everything that I've been wanting out of my knives for the longest time is going. I went back to my story archive on Instagram. I made a post like 6-7 months ago that was like, does anyone know of any lightweight under 4 ounce live blades? I really want a light live blade that's grippy and fun. Of course, the Marin Light came along right after that, and I got one of those. But that checks this. Everything I've been looking for the longest time has finally been put into one balisong, and it is the LDY Cygnus, and it is absolutely fantastic and is the perfect modern balisong. So that's basically it. And of course, this is all opinion. There are some people who flip their 7 ounce monstrosities, and that is their perfect balisong. However, this is all for me. I like this thing so much. This is all I want to flip. So yeah, the LDY Cygnus is my perfect balisong, and I am incredibly happy with it. And I think LDY did amazing work on this. Everyone involved did amazing work. So yes, the Cygnus is my perfect balisong. Thank you guys very much for watching. If you have any more questions, let me know on Instagram. I'll probably be posting with this thing a lot. And yeah, hope any of you who get a Cygnus like it as much as I do. And I wish you all the best in the journey, to find your perfect balisong. My journey is now complete. Goodbye, everybody.